Okay. I think I've got quite a nice group here today. So glad. Oh, still admitting some. Give a minute or so. Okay, I think we've got everybody. I'll keep an eye on everything on the side here to see if anybody joins last minute and we can pop them in because I know your guys' time is valuable and I want to make sure that we do this succinctly and have time for questions and stuff. So my name is Sherry Lorenz and I am actually the sales manager for the Rohnert Park office. And one of the things that I love is technology. And so when new stuff comes up for us, I used to be able to keep up with technology, but of course now it's way past all of us. Nobody can keep up with it anymore. So, but when we have new tools and stuff that come out, I immediately try them to see whether or not I like them or not. And so I've been using zip forms forever. And then Skyslope came out with their forms and I was like, okay, let me try it. And so I started working with it. So it hasn't been here really long. There may be still a few things that I don't necessarily know, but I know enough to give you guys a really good overview of how to create your templates and how to use it when it comes to creating your files and everything, because it all, and being able to use the signatures and stuff, there's a lot of good things about it that make it really cool. And you guys are more than welcome to ask questions as we go along. All you need to do is raise your hand from the thing on the bottom and I'll see that it's raised and I'll let you ask the question. I'm going to share my screen right now. Can you guys all see that?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So here's the Skyslope. Let me close everything else underneath. So here's the Skyslope. So I'm going to just show you in mine what I've done. You guys on your computers, if you have the ability to or want to, you can kind of go along with it and kind of practice with it. But I'm just basically going to show you. So if you want to take notes, whatever works the best for you when it comes to learning something. I'm very much a visual learner, so I just like to see it first and then play with it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to log in. Let's get this gallery view better. There we go. I've got you on two screens here so I can see all of you. There we go. All right, so you're in the main Skyslope. I'm sure a lot of you know how to use this when you've used it before to work with your transactions or to do DigiSign or something like that. But if you go up into the upper right-hand corner, you see where it says apps and it has the little grid there. So you're going to click on that and then you're going to click on forms. So you can see I've actually been really using it quite a bit already. And so the first thing that the best part is I know in CAR you could create templates. And you can create templates in Skyslope just as well as easily as you could create them in, actually, I think it's almost a little bit easier. You can create the templates for the different types of files that you will do. So the first thing I did was I went in and I created all my templates. So to create a template, you actually just go up to the top where it says templates and you click on templates. You can see right now, here are the three main templates that I created. I did one that was the seller condo forms, and then I did one that was the seller home forms, and then I did the buyer forms. And really what I did in here was, I can actually just show you, I'll show you condo ones, and then we'll create a test one for everybody. But what I did was I just went in and I put in all the forms that are usual in a transaction that I'm going to probably use over and over and over again. And that would be the listing agreement and an addendum, maybe my agent visual, the backup offer addendum, if for some reason we want to put somebody in backup. So all the forms that I use on a regular basis are in here. Sometimes when I go into a file, if I'm sure I'm not going to use it once I create the actual file for the property, I can take some of these forms out. One of the fun things you can do too is if you look on the side here, my little cursor has turned to the 4 arrows. You can actually move your forms around if you wanted to. Sometimes I do that. If you want to move them around, that comes more when you're actually in a file. So it's what you want your clients to see first. But here's all the forms. You can actually remove them by using this minus sign and removing them. And then another feature that's actually really cool is this paper right here. And unfortunately, oh, there we do have one. So see this right here down at the bottom, it's got the circle with the exclamation point. That's telling me that that form has been updated. So I can update my templates very simply by just going in and clicking on that. And it says I'm viewing an outdated version of the form, update now. So I can just click it and update it, and it's going to go in and update for me. And you see now at the bottom, it changed into a page. So it tells me I have the most up-to-date form in here. That's what's really fantastic in this, is that you can actually see all the different forms that need to be updated. Let's go. So to create a template, you just click on create template. So you can create all types of templates. I have another agent that I helped that created a template because she's a referral agent. She does a lot of referrals. We created a referral template for her, because the best part about creating the templates is you can pre-fill information on them. So let's go ahead and say you have a listing. You want to do a seller template, and we can just name, I'm going to just name it seller test. If I'm going too fast, please let me know. And again, questions, let me know. Okay, so it brings me to this area where it gives me all the forms, and it says, okay, add the forms that you want. Now you can look at this and you can scroll down and look and see what forms you might think that you need. So it's a seller, so we know we're going to need the purchase or the listing agreement. So I can actually search for the forms up here. They are in alphabetical order on here, but as we know, look how many forms we have. So I know that I'm going to need the listing agreement. So I already know that it's on the RP or RLA. But if you don't, you can actually say residential, and then it brings all up all the different ones. And you can see here's the residential listing agreement. And then all you have to do to add it is click add. Now you'll notice down here on the bottom, it says continue. You don't really want to continue yet until you're done with all the forms that you want to add to the template. You can continue, and what happens is, I'll show you, is it takes you to the actual form. And you can still add forms if you want to. You can go back and click on add forms and go back to where we were. Usually I like to kind of put all the forms that I want in there first, because then I can go back in and I can tailor them to me. So we already, and the other thing that's great is if you already have a form in your file, so I did residential again, you can see right here on the side, it tells you that it's already been added. So you're like, oh, I already have it. So I know I need the market conditions advisory. So that's there. So I don't know, I know I'm putting together a list for our office that I'll share with everybody, but I'm going to try and do that gives you like a really good checklist of the forms that you should take with you or have when you're doing a listing. If you're anything like me, you do the listing agreement and all the disclosures, the main disclosures at the very beginning. And I will actually get those filled out and stuff. Let's see, what else would I need on here? So you can actually remove the forms from here too.
Shari, or how do you say your name? Is it Shari?
Sherry.
Sherry. Okay. Hi. Nice to meet you. I'm Natasha.
Hi, Natasha.
I have a list that I put together because I'm the admin manager in Lake County. I can send
Okay.
it to you because maybe that'll help you with your project that you're working on for your area.
Oh, that would be fantastic. Thank you.
And all our agents up here actually use it. It has like a little check mark next to everything, and they print it out and use it when they're putting their listing together.
That
But
would be fantastic.
on that note, I just got my license and I'm learning what's needed when you do like for a buyer or things like that. Maybe I'll get with you on that and see if you have maybe, because I actually had an agent that asked me what things should I put together. Another agent asked me things should I add for buyers doing the other side when you're representing the other side. So maybe a checklist, but I'll get with you on that later maybe.
Oh, that would be fantastic. I'm all for sharing stuff. That'd be great. So, because I have a partial list, but if you've got one done, I'd love it.
Thank you for your help too. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so then we can add in, so one of the things that I usually do add in here sometimes is the TDS and the SBQ, but with Breeze, we don't necessarily need to do that. So I'm actually not going to add it here because Breeze, I'm going to show you Breeze because Breeze will have it in there. It'll be different. And so I don't do it in my preliminary stuff anymore. So, but let's say the smoke detector, water heater, I'm going to add that one. I'm going to add the water conservation, water heater, smoke detector. Oh, that one's the water plumbing. Now it's also too, if you bring something up and you see that there's other things that you can have, you can go through it. If you take out what you're searching for, it gives you back the form. So you can just scroll down and you can just see here's my agent visual. I can add that and I can just continue down and finding the forms that I want to do, or I can just type them in at the top. So I'm just going to go with the 4 forms that I've added right now so that I can kind of show you how to pre-fill them. So you go into continue. So on the residential listing agreement, so now all your forms are here. And again, you can keep them all in whatever order you'd like. So then you go down, somebody wanted to get in the room. So I can start filling in my stuff. So see, I clicked on where it would be for me. So it went the brokerage name, but I'm going to scroll back up because I want to actually put my name in here. So you just fill everything out. I'm not going to click on that, what it wants to pre-fill below, because then it leaves this funny little thing on there and I can't ever get it off. And then I put my license number. And then it asks for the agent MLS code. I still put it in there, but I don't think it's ever been in there. So then I can put the brokerage name. And the broker's license, which is saved in there. I haven't memorized that yet. And the broker code, haven't memorized that yet. So then I can save. So now it's pre-filled that for me. And so now if I just go through, I pretty much put everything I can put in there for right now because all I can put in is my information. So I usually just scrolled through. And I can see that my info is in there and it's put it everywhere that it thinks that it should be.
Sorry, Sherry, can you show one more time where you clicked to do that, to pre-fill?
So all I did was go to the form and I just started at the form and the very first area in which I could enter information. I just clicked on it and it automatically brought the little box up for me to put all the info in.
Oh, great. Super easy. Thank you.
Yeah, super easy. So I just pre-filled it all in there.
Do you find that you're liking this better than using the zip forms in car?
Yep. I haven't used car zip forms in probably 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. I love it. So I'm going to scroll through again and just make sure that I've hit everything that I need to. See, it's filled in anywhere on here on wherever my information is that I filled in there is automatically filled in on this form. See? And then when I go to the next document, you see I'm still in the listing agreement. and it still has filled in everything. Listing agreement has a lot of docs. So now if you notice over here, that blue line clicked over, if you know that you can pop to different areas, you can pop to each form by just clicking on the form and it'll take you to each different form. So I know on the market conditions, that's signed by the buyer and the seller. And I know on the water heater that I don't have to sign that one either. So that's not going to have anything in it. And I also know the same on here. It's not going to have any. So the agent visual will. So I just make sure that it's filled in. So the one thing, and I actually did a survey yesterday for the people that do forms in Breeze, because if you notice, this one didn't fill in here. And I realized when I did the signatures on a couple of them, when I did them through Breeze, the signature didn't go there either. So I had to remember to add that afterwards. So I always want to put, and I think it's because it does not know which agent is on this document. So they don't know which one to have signed here. On the bottom, they can tell because you can see it filled it in down here and they knew which one, knew the form and it knew which one to do it. But up here, it could be the listing agent or the selling agent. So that's why I didn't put it in. Save. All right, so now my template is complete and I just save template. Now, one of the things, I had a couple people that I had done some work with and they kept going back to their templates to create their file. You do not ever want to change your template unless you're going in to update the template. Because if you put any information in here, it automatically saves it. So every time you go in, you've got somebody else's information in there and you've got to change it. The whole point is to have it ready for you to just add what the new stuff that you need to. So once you're done with your templates, you just leave the templates alone. When you want to create a file, you go back over here to file. So you're always going to be in files when you want to create a file. So you create the file. So all we have to do here, so say I have the seller, because I want to use that seller template. I'll just use my, oops, I'm the seller too. Oh, let's use my husband. So you put their information in here. And if you want to add, so you have two sellers and you're only having one here, to add the additional contact, you just click on additional contact and you put in, oops, I get too fast sometimes, sorry. And you put in their contact. If you have the property, you can put the property address in. Now, if it is a property, and I'll say this, if it is a property that you're doing for a buyer, you can actually import the data from MLS, which is really fantastic. I'm doing it as a listing, so I don't have it, but you can, if you click on this, all you do is you put the MLS number in here. And once you do an MLS number in there, it automatically searches your MLS and it pops it in here and you can click right on it and it populates everything. It populates for the agent, it populates for who the seller is also. I can show you that too. But right now we're just going to do this one. So I'm putting in all the information. If you'll notice, all of a sudden, once I clicked, if I unclick this up here, the templates were not down here before. I apologize for not showing you that. If I hadn't clicked anything, I could have shown you the templates weren't there. But once I clicked who it, that I put this information in, it automatically brought the templates up if I want to use them. You don't have to use the templates if you don't want to, but what's the point of that if you have them? So you can name the file here, whatever you want, and then I can use this seller test file, and that's the template I want to use, and then I go ahead and I create. I already did a test one with this address. Let's just take the numbers out. Create. So here's my document or my file with these files already in it. So now the next thing I want to do is I want to complete these forms. So what you do is you click on every single form, or if you only want, say I only want to do these 2 forms right now. I don't really want to do the disclosures. I can just do these 2, or I can click them all and do them all at the same time. And then if you look down on the bottom here, there's a way for you to just go ahead and download the documents if you want them downloaded. As you can see, I downloaded them, and I could take them and print them and have them filled out with the seller. Or I can go ahead and get these ready, get them filled out and sent. So that's the choice I'm going to do over here. And you'll see it tells you that you have 2 forms selected. So then I'm going to go to fill and send. So now I'm going to go through and I'm going to see that, oh, it already put in my seller's names. It missed this box, and that's why sometimes there's a little bit of idiosyncrasies here, but it missed this box for the broker license number because it didn't save it for some reason, which is weird. But those are some of the idiosyncrasies still. So that's why I go through and just scan down and make sure everything has gotten in there. So there's my sellers. There's the address of the property. And see, it actually got it down here once I put it in. So now I can fill out what I need to fill out. So I'm creating this today. And then I'm going to create for how long that I want the listing agreement. And then I can put the parcel number. Now, what's kind of nice is when you set the MLS, sometimes the MLS, if there's anywhere when you have to import it, sometimes it grabs it. So there's that. And the listing price, let's see, let's say $999. And I don't have any other terms. And then you can just put in. And you just go through and you fill out everything that you would normally fill out on the form. Excluded. You can put excluded, included. I have solar power that's leased. I have an alarm system. No liened items. And you're always going to put in here. So you just go through and you fill out your forms how you need to fill them out. Oh, look, buyer instruct to broker to present buyer letters. It's fun. Okay. And so it didn't put the seller's name on here because there's no line for it, and you could put their address if you wanted to, but I'm not going to necessarily do this, but I will put this back. Okay, save. So all my information's in there. And then I just go make sure that everything else is in. So I can see all of that's in there. And now,
All right, Sherry, quick question. What were you saying about the sellers that is this because it's a test? You're going to leave that part blank right now, or?
No, it doesn't put it in because if you look, there's no place to actually have the seller's name in here. Do you notice the form?
Right.
It just says the seller agrees. So it doesn't have a place to add their names. It has for their address and their email, but no place for their names.
Oh, I see. But that's where they would sign, I guess.
This is where they would sign. Now the
Thank you.
system's going to know when I go in there and ask it to sign, it'll know and it'll put their signature block in there, but there's no name.
Thank you. Okay.
Yep. Okay, that's all in there. And then now you notice it switched over. Now I'm on the market conditions. And I know on that one, it doesn't usually put that in there because it doesn't have a place for their name. Again, doesn't have a place for the name, so it doesn't put it. So now that form, those are all ready. I'm ready to go. I want them to sign it. We've already talked about it. I've sent it to them. Now I'm just having them sign it remotely. So then you just go to prepare signature. And here's where it's kind of cool because no action. Well, that's not true because I need to sign it because it's a listing agreement. So you can change it here and say needs to sign. And then both of the sellers need to sign. So you're telling the system, right? You're telling them the system right now on this file that these people need to sign. Now, you may want to actually have people get copies of it and stuff like that. You can't do that here. This is just the main signatures and stuff, but I'll show you when we go to the next page. So it automatically pulls up this whole system and pulls all the documents in. So it already has pre-done, because I told it that Shelby and Sherry and Trent needed to sign this document, it color coded it and put them all on here already. So
I just wanted to comment on that. Sorry. So I just did my very first offer on Monday night. I was working really late. And I don't know what I had to literally click because I didn't know about this. So this is going to be great because it puts the blocks in there itself. Yep. It took me forever. I had to go through and I uploaded my forms to DigiSign here in Skyslope from Zip. And I had to click where I wanted them to sign. I'm like going through all the forms, click, 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 click. And I thought there's got to be a faster way to do this. So this is going to be great. This is a game changer.
This is a total game changer. And this is what I love. Is this whole piece right here, because you can actually do it. It already has it in here. Now, it doesn't catch everything, but it catches most everything. So, which is fantastic, because a lot of times, like if I'm doing an offer or something, I have extra documents that I have the people sign. You can actually upload them into your file in here and have it be part of this, and you can do the signatures. So I just go through and I make sure that it hit everything. So see, and remember how it didn't have a place for the name, but here in the signature, it automatically put their signature and it automatically put their name here, which is great. I don't have to, because you can do it with, if you do the full name up here, where you click it onto it and such. So it automatically put everything. So I just go through and make sure that everything that's supposed to be signed is signed, or marked to be signed, I'm sorry. So all my information here, so even the initials at the bottom are done, even the initials here. Now, if there's places on here you don't want them to sign, you can actually click on it and you can delete it. And if you look over the light here, you can either press delete on your keyboard, or you can come over here to the little garbage can on the left-hand side that says delete. So you can do that anytime if you'd like to, if you need to. So I'm just going to go through and look. And so I see in here, everything's in the right spots. Now, if something's not in the right spot, let's say this one didn't show up where it needed to be. All I have to do is go up here to the left-hand side, and I know that this is where I need to sign. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to click, and I'm going to click on myself. And then I'm going to click on signature. And then I'm going to go down here to where I would sign. And now this plus sign is really cool, because if you put it right on the line or just above it and click, it lines it up perfectly. And then I want to put the date. So I'm going to go over here and put the date. I got to click on the date, and then I come down here and I click on date. You can actually move the stuff around if it doesn't, if you click in a weird spot and it ends up here, you can see you get those 4 arrows, and you can actually hold it, click on it, hold it, and move it where you want. It's very helpful. So you can put those, you can put other signatures on here if you need to. So I'm seeing here that everything so far is great. And we're all good. So, and I can go out of the editing block. So if you notice here on the left-hand side, it shows the recipients. So say now you want to send it to your TC. So at the time, and the TC is not on here, because, and you want it, any documents that you do in here. So here's the thing, you can come in here and use this for any documents you want for that file. And you can come in each time if you have an addendum, or you have a contingency release or whatever. You do the main stuff, your forms are already in there. You go back to the file, you do your contingency release, you do the information, you send it, you want to make sure that the TC has a copy. You click on these 3 dots and it says edit recipients. So now I can add recipients. So now I want to copy Flora, because Flora's my TC on this file. So I click on Flora and it does it in here. And instead of needs to sign, I click and says receives a copy. If you notice, it changed the signing group. You can actually change this too. So the signing groups, So say you want your sellers to sign before you sign so that you can see that they've signed and you're the last person to sign, you can change the signing group to make the sellers group 1 and then you group 2. And then it doesn't matter on here. So they take the signing group off of here. So now I can save that. And this indicates over here on the side what the signing order is. So these are all can sign at the same time. And then in addition, I can add another signer group if I wanted to. And then it says who receives copies of it. So now I can save that. And now I can send it.
Hello, Sherry. I had a question about that signing group. I seem to have trouble with that, especially with DigiSign, trying to get it to where maybe it comes to me first and then it goes to one seller and then goes to the next seller instead of everybody getting it all at the same time.
Okay.
Is that the way it is set up, or will it all just go out to everybody at the same time?
So you can change the signing groups. So say right now you had a signing group 1 and you want to add a signer group. You can see how it signs up here. It shows a little box. As soon as I did that, you can take for whoever from up here. So say if I wanted to sign, this is in the first group. So we're going in the second group. So maybe we want this one to be in the second group, right? And then we can add another group and add the signer to the third group. And so now what'll happen is it'll come to me first for signatures, then it'll go to Shelby for signatures, and then it'll go to Trent for signatures. And once it's all signed, it'll all come back to you. Did that help, Don?
Yeah, that helped. When I did through DigiSign, they had you drop and drag into different groups, and it never seemed to be able to. It was really difficult to where it finally would take it into like the second signer or back to me.
Right.
But this looks like a lot easier, and that it would work a lot better.
Yeah, it's much simpler to be able to do that. So a lot of times I send everything out at the same time, but I think I'm going to actually start making myself last so that I know that everybody else is signed, because as soon as I sign it, they'll come to me. But that's as easy as it is to do the signing groups.
Yeah, I do the same thing, except I have it come to me first, and then it goes down to my sellers.
Yeah. So I can leave it just like this, or I can actually move people back if I want to. See, I can actually move them back to the other groups too. So if I want to take them out, I can take them and move them to the other groups. Dragging and dropping is actually really cool on this. So once I'm done with that, I press save. And now I've changed all my recipients and all of that stuff. And so now I'm going to go ahead and send it. So I go to send. And it does just like the other one does. You just actually just put this information in here. You can type whatever you want to type in here and get it all ready. And then you just send it for signatures. I'm not going to send it because my husband and my daughter will be like, what are you sending me? But that's how you can send it like that. And so when I talked about the other files, I'll just pop into, so when you're done out of here, you can exit. And so now say I'm done with this one and I want to go back to forms. So I just go back to forms and you can see my other documents that I have in here. So say on this property, where's one that I actually, this one. So I have done everything and I need to do another contingency release. Well, I can actually, I know I need to go to the second one here. So all I had to do was pop in here, grab the contingency, that form. I needed a second one because I already know I did the first one. Usually you use them twice, sometimes not. And you can just go in and do your information and you prepare signature. And then this one, as you can tell, all the different people I had in this file that we actually were able to do stuff. So I can tell it right now who I need to do what.
Quick question, Sherry. Is this a form that you had in the template? So it was already there, or I missed that, or did you bring this form in?
No, it was already in my templates. I just went to a file. This is a file I just closed this week. And
no,
so
if there was another form that we needed to bring in the file.
So if you needed to bring in another form, so here's the thing, you got your form done. So if it's a form that we already have, you can go back to add forms right here at the top and add a form. Okay. Now, if you want to upload, like when I do a buyer's package, a lot of times I'll put in the MLS and the tax record for the buyer to sign to send with the package. So I clicked on upload document. And then you can actually go to your computer and you can find the documents that you want. So on this one, I want the tax records and the transaction worksheet. I have a feeling they're already in there, but let's see what it does. And you can click as many as you want at the same time to add. So see, it uploads it and it tells you that they're done uploading, and you press done. And if you go to the end of your document, you can see they're right here. See, I actually already had it. I did it.
That's great.
So then when you're putting your documents together, whenever you're wanting to do stuff, when you're doing the package, you're going to automatically click everything you're going to need at the very beginning. You're going to click all those documents and put it all together. Now, if you forget and you need to add a form, you can go back and add the form like I showed you. So if I do, I'm going to do these two forms. And so I want to fill and send, but I forgot a form. Oh, maybe not. So this is where I kind of learn a little bit. I don't think you can't add it from here. That's the one problem that I did notice. You can't add it from here because it doesn't let you do anything. So you end up having to go back. You can actually save a template anytime too. So I can save and exit, but then I got to go back and I got to click on the correct forms that I really wanted. Okay. So that's like a really brief overview of forms. Do people have any questions about it?
Yeah, I had one question. When you start to do that second release addendum, do you have to bring in a whole new release addendum document, like a number 2 or number 3, or do you just change the number on the one you already have, and then will it then keep the number 1, or will it modify the number 1?
Yeah, it'll modify the number 1. So if you want to keep your file clean in here, you want to actually bring in another one. So if you, as you know, when you're adding forms, so let's add a form. So when we're adding forms, if we notice in here, usually when I have a file like that, you see you have the 1, 2, I'll automatically put 2 in the file so I don't have to add another one. I usually just automatically add a second one, because if you want to keep all your documents in here, you can go in there and change the first one if you want to, but if you have a copy of the other one somewhere. But I like to keep this file just as clean as the regular file for Skyslope too, so that if for some reason I can't find it on my computer where I've saved it, I can always come back here and I know it's in here.
So Shari, may I ask a question?
Sure.
Hi, this is Rashana.
Hi.
I noticed that with CAR on zip forms, once we receive a signed signature, it goes to our email, and then it gets saved kind of like as a signature packet. How does it happen with Skyslope? Do we have to save it and upload it back into Skyslope upon receipt of the signatures?
That's why you do have to forward it to the TCs and stuff. There's not a total integration of it actually connecting with the Skyslope file that the TCs have. So that's why I always copy the TCs on anything that I'm sending, because then they can throw it into the file. That's the one piece that's not here yet. It would be kind of nice if you came in here and it already had your Skyslope files that you've done so that you could connect them, but it doesn't connect yet.
Okay.
So when the signatures are there, to kind of to what Rashana was saying, and that's a good question, Rashana. I was thinking that too. So once the signatures are done, the signed forms, if I wanted to go grab a copy and see it, they would end up in my file.
They're in the envelopes. So
And
let me
that's
go
what
back
I'm
and
right
show
here
you.
in this.
Yeah, so
part.
they would be here. The signed ones would be here. Let me
Okay.
go back.
When I say file, I mean under Skyslope forms, not the actual file, but this part
Yeah.
of the.
So let me go to this one. So once you send stuff, it does go in envelopes just like it did in DigiSign. So when you go to your envelopes, you can see there's the envelopes that I did for this file, and it can tell you that it's complete. And then you can actually go in here and download the envelope as a single PDF or individual PDFs. And you can also download the certificate, which is always nice, that shows when somebody viewed it or signed it. So if I download the envelope, I download it as one document. It's still downloading. Open the file. And there's my signed copies. So then I can actually forward this or put it in my file. I can save it, I can print it, I can do whatever I want to it. Anything that is signed is in your envelopes here.
I was thinking just now, Sherry, if there was a Skyslope file created for something we're working on, we're getting another form. I wonder if we can, each Skyslope file has an email address. I wonder if we could add that under recipient.
I'm sure you could, absolutely. I bet you as long as you're copying the TC, you could totally add the file if you have the file. It would actually do that. That would be perfect. Thanks, Natasha. That's a great idea. You can absolutely copy the Skyslope if you have a file already made in Skyslope.
Very cool. Thank you.
Yep. Okay, any other questions on forms? There's probably a lot more I could show you, a lot more to do, but I think that's a really good introduction to it on how you can do it and the ease of it when you're doing it and such. So I think that's really helpful. So I want to go ahead and show you a little bit of Breeze. I'm not as well versed on Breeze, and there's a couple little things with Breeze, but I think it's easy enough. It kind of, if you use Glide, it mimics Glide to a certain extent, but I almost think it's a little bit better than Glide. So you go to get there, you do the same thing. You go over to, you just click on that apps and you click on to Breeze. I think the one thing that's better on this one that I like than Glide is you don't get all the advertisements, you don't get all the order this form and order that form, and it doesn't confuse your sellers when they're trying to do stuff, because I know on Glide it kept wanting them to order the natural hazard report and all that kind of stuff. So basically, if you notice, this is the main page. So you can actually, if you just want to do an Avid, you can just start an Avid. If you want to start just a disclosures, you could just do a disclosure. So let me show you the Avid really quick, because that's really cool. So here's the Avid. I love this because, so it says it recognized me, so it's going to log me in. I love the surfer because it's such a breeze.
Yeah, that is clever.
I know, right? Okay, log in, please.
It's just because we're all watching.
Of course, of course.
Sherry, I have a question. I got on a few minutes late, and so I didn't see how you logged into anything. So I'm assuming that this Breeze, you have to be in Skyslope before you get this Breeze app, you said?
Correct. To get forms and Breeze, you log into Skyslope. Why is it taking so long? This is not usual. Let's see if I can get this to. I'm going to go back. Oh, here we go. So see, that logged me in. So here is the, it actually, what's really cool about this is it does talk to your forms. So when you're wanting to do an Avid for a file that you've already done, whether it be a buyer or a seller or anything, if you notice, it shows all the properties are down below here. So I can actually click on the property that I want, and I can start the disclosures, or I can start a new Avid. So let me show you the Avid. And so it is an existing, I want to use the existing file. Next. And then to ask you what type of property, it tells, it put the people's name in it for already. And so here's what's really cool is you can account for the rooms that you want. So, and to do that, all you do is click on them. I want the entryway, I want the living room, I have a formal dining room, so I want that. I want a kitchen. I don't have a family room, I just have a living room, so I don't need the other room right now. I do have a hall, I have 3 bedrooms, so you just tell it how many bedrooms, and then I have 2 bathrooms, so you tell it how many baths. If you have any other, here's the garage, the exterior, and anything else you observe. Now, I can say, oh, well, see on this one, Yeah, so 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, but I have actually have this little den room that's just a little den room. So I can add that on there. And I would click on this if I had a family room. Okay, so you just click on all that you want and then you click next. And then it gives you all these different ones so you can't forget which ones that you need to do. So now I'm going to add my notes to my entryway. And then I'm going to save it.
So quick
And you
question, Sherry.
Sure.
I'll be doing my very first one ever because I just started, like I said. So for logistically, my question, I was just wondering, do you so when you do it and you use this program, because I'm assuming this is on your laptop, not on your phone. So do you gather all your information from the house, take your pictures or whatever you need to remember and come home and then enter it in?
That's one way to do it, but no, I don't. What I do is before I go, I get everything set up in here. So you get it all set up that it's all, you can do it on your phone too. I actually do everything from my phone when I'm at the house because you can actually, if you notice, it lets you dictate. So a lot of times I'll walk through and I'll just dictate the stuff that I see. So what I usually do is already have it set up in Breeze. You don't have to, you can actually go to Breeze on your phone and do all of this on there. I find it simpler to do it from here first, to have it all set up and ready for me to go, so that when I get to the property, all I have to do is log into it and it's all ready, and I just click on each room as I go through the property.
And is it an app on the phone, or do I go in?
It's not an app. It's a website that you can go to. And of course, I knew you guys were going to ask me, and I think it's so this one would be breeze.skyslope.com.
Okay.
Let me make sure that works. I was doing it yesterday. Let's see, Breeze. Yep, Skyslope. So it's breeze.skyslope.com. And same thing with forms. If for some reason you find yourself in a place where you don't have access to a computer, you can do it on your phone, and it's forms.skyslope.com.
Wow, that's great.
You can actually, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. There you go. So see,
Yeah.
It actually tells you that you can start and you can connect to it. So you can start doing your Avid.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. So you just click on, what's really cool is when you look at check marks it, hey, look, I got everything. So when you're doing it and you're looking, you could get down to the bottom. And so here's my living room. And you just save it. And so it's check marking. So you can actually go through and know that you've got to have a check mark on all of these to cover everything you need to cover in the house. So once you've covered everything, you can say, I'm done. And it tells you when did it occur. So we did it today at 11:15.
Sherry, hi,
Yes.
this is Magda. I have a question before going any further. If we want to take pictures for each of the bedrooms or areas at the property, can we do it or not?
That is not something that actually Breeze allows you to do. So Glide does allow you to do that, but Breeze does not allow you to add the pictures. So that's something that you could take the pictures and then just do them as an addendum or attachment to your Avid. And what you could do is you could put it in the comments area. You can indicate, please see picture, pictures, or picture 1, picture 2, whatever you'd want to do. But that would be the only way that you could do it and add it that way. Unfortunately, that's the negative part. I do know that at one point there's a controversy of whether we should have pictures or not have pictures attached to our Avid. So that's a determination you got to make on your own, whether or not you want to attach them.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
Sure. So this one says 81 and overcast. 81 outside already? So, but it gives you the temperature of wherever you're at. So it's filling in some of these. Is there anybody else present? So say, yeah, Doug's Bugs. And you can put the person's name if you wanted to. If your buyers are with you, or your sellers are with you, you can just say Trent and Shelby Lorenz. And then you can go next. And then it tells you, please review and make any necessary edits. It's all in here. So you can actually go back and edit things. So the observation on the different rooms and stuff, and then you save it. And then once you've saved it, you can actually send it for signature down here. You can go back and edit it if you need to, but then you can actually go ahead and send for signature, and it goes to your sellers, and you just send it from here. And it would go to them for signatures. And it does the same thing. It already puts the signature names and blocks in there. So that's the Abbott. I want to show you. So now I want to start new disclosures. We're going to do Dexter again, and we're going to start. So you can go here on the side, and it has the little side thing. It says start new disclosures. So I can start the disclosures here. I want to use an existing file. I want to use Dexter. Next. And so here's it. Oh, actually, it has 2 more forms in here now that it didn't have before. So they're trying to add different forms in here. So if you notice, they're going to have the fire hardening in here coming soon. They're going to have the manufacturer. Those are all coming soon. We've previously, only ones you could get were the TDS and the SPQ. So I could right now, if I wanted to, add the lead-based paint. This house was built in 76, so I would want to. So you can, and so I chose the 3 documents. So you can only choose the ones that are available right now. I could put the residential earthquake one too. So I'm going to choose those 4. So it's going to ask you all the information. And here's my clients that are going to fill it out. Oh, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to edit the email because I want to show you what it looks like. Next. And so this is everything that you want. You say, okay, that's great. That's everything I want to send them. They're going to fill out. Now, I actually take these forms in advance and I send them blank forms in advance to show them that this is what they're going to be getting. And then I let them know that it's on a program that's going to walk them through asking the questions and filling out the form as they go. So I'm going to go ahead and send. Okay, so now it's been sent. And I can see here what the progress is. So any time you want to see the progress, you can come into Breeze and find out what the progress is. So now I'm going to go to my emails. And look, it's already in my email, disclosures needed. So now all I do is, this is what the seller would get. And I'm going to click on, and I think it's always important for you to see what they get so that you can help them with it. So you just start your disclosures. So it gives you the privacy terms and everything like that that you can review. You have to click the box to continue. And then it has the 4 forms that I want them to fill out, right? So I'm going to go to the first form, the transfer disclosure statement, and here's the introduction. And then this is all that they have to do. It tells them how to approach it, what to do, how to fill it out, and why they're supposed to be filling it out. And do you have any substitute disclosures? So no. And then it goes to the next one, and you can go to next. Are you occupying the property? Yes. And then you start with the property features, and it walks you through. Confirm the address. And then you can go through, they go through and they mark what it has. It has a dishwasher, it has a microwave, it has a garbage disposal, it has washer dryer hookups, there's a burglar alarm, smoke detectors, carbon monoxide, I have window screens. So you can go through and I wish I had central air. And then if none of these apply, you can actually click none apply. Very rarely you're going to have that. So then it actually even gives you more. It says you have a roof, you have rain gutters, do you have sprinklers, a water heater, you have public sewer, you have water supply on the exterior, there's a patio, there's a garage, there's a pool, Peter, gas, and it's gas. So this is what they're seeing as they go through. And now the questions come in. What type of garage do you have? Well, it's attached. Is there a carport? No. Do you have an automatic garage door? Yeah. And then you notice I said yes, so it added the question, how many remotes do you have? I only have one. Next. Do you have a child resistant barrier for the pool on the property? Yes. Gas or pool for the spa? Yes. So I
Hi,
won't.
Sherry. I had a question. What if you don't have a garage? They don't have an NA or anything like that. Do you just leave it blank?
No, it said, no, it asked if you don't have a garage, you can say, well, actually, it says not attached. So I'm wondering if we say not attached.
I thought it was on the previous page where
Was
you
it?
clicked if you had a garage or not, like in the very beginning where you were
Oh,
clicking.
yeah, you're right. So I did click on here that I had a garage, but if you don't have a garage, this would be one that you wouldn't click. And let's see what it does. See, let's see, it does. Nope. No. It took all the questions for the garage out. So it bases it on the features that you're checking on the first page. So does the property have city water? Yes. Well water? No. Private utility or otherwise? No. Gas? Yes. Bottle tanks? No. So this is exactly, yes, I have exhaust fans. Where are your exhaust fans? In the kitchen and bathroom.
And I was just thinking, it's Sherry, right? I keep feeling like I'm going to say it wrong. Sherry?
Sherry, yeah.
Okay. I was just thinking right now, if we get some older folks that don't have computer, don't have email, I was almost thinking, well, technically we can create an email for them and then have them come in the office and then and open it up and have them sit here in front of me. And then I would open the email I created for them. I'm just kind of thinking ahead how I would do it if I had someone that didn't have to avoid having 500 pages in front of them. Technically, it could still be used with someone older. I would just help them work through it probably on my own computer in the office.
Correct. You could do that. You could have them sit there and let them do the clicking and you just pointing and telling and explaining as you go. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay. So 220-volt wiring. Yes. Because if you have a electric dryer. So I have a gas dryer, but I also have a dryer. And if you have it in the stove. So I have it in my oven. So this is how easy it is to go through the form. So you just go, do you have a fireplace? Yes. So it's really easy. And this, what it tells it is you answer the question and it tells you that you have to, it's required field. So it makes them answer, where is it? Just the same as it did in Glide and stuff like that. It doesn't let you continue without doing that kind of stuff. So that's the positive on it. And then once it's all finished, it comes back to you. See, it's not going to finish it all. I'm not going to do the whole thing for you, but what'll happen is once it's completed, it emails you and lets you know that it's complete. And then you can review it and then send it out for signatures.
So once it's complete, then I would go into the Forms app to send it out for signatures?
No, because yes, you would. So what happens is it'll send it to you and it'll tell you that it's been completed, and then you can go in and send it digitally. The same thing happened with Glide, because they couldn't sign it as soon as they were finished. They needed to actually give it to you, you reviewed it, and then you sent it for signatures, which is very smart because we want to make sure that we're reviewing it before they sign it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
And you said it will automatically, this will show up in Forms then after they filled it out.
I'm not 100% sure on, because I haven't actually had a listing to where I could use this yet. So I'm not 100%, but as soon as I find out, I'll let everybody know. But it's possible.
And it seemed like the hard part with, Glide is that you went modified, or you asked them to modify certain things, then you had to send it back to them.
Correct.
Does this do the same thing where it sends it back?
I'm, again, not 100% sure on it because I haven't interacted 100% that way, but as soon as I know, I'll let you guys know. And if anybody uses it and figures it out, let me know too, because that would be good to know, because I hadn't really had anybody make any changes or do anything on it yet.
Sounds good.
Okay, any questions on Breeze? Look at that. I kept it to just an hour. How cool is that? Okay.
Great job, Sherry. Very useful, and you did a great job explaining everything. That was great.
Oh, good. I'm
Yeah,
glad.
thank you very much. That was very informative.
Good. So if anybody has any questions or learns anything that you think would be great for me, please let me know. Like I said, I love technology. I love using it. And I think these tools are really good for us. So the first thing I suggest you all do is go into Forms and create your templates. And then you'll have everything ready to go for you so that when and the templates that you saw, I only created 3 templates. I did the condo for the seller, the just a regular seller, and then I did a buyer one. And so you could, if you do mobile homes, you could do a mobile home one. You can do, whatever, if you do land, you could do a land one. So that you have all those different kinds of things in there. You can have them in there. I kind of figured I'd create the land and all those when I do that. I don't do those as often, so I don't need really that template. But when I do one, I'll create the template and have it for the next time. But I did take the time to go in there and just create the current templates. And it's so easy. If you forget to add a form in your template and you pull your template over and you're using it and you go, oh, I should put that in my template. Just go to your template and update your template. And remember, don't use your template to do your stuff. Create your file and your templates will have to be at the bottom for you to choose from. Okay.
One other question back on Breeze. So on your templates, would you leave out your TDS and your SPQ? Or
Yes.
would you, and then just do them in Breeze, and it would then once they're done, does it automatically put it back into the forms, or do you have to download it and put it in your form section?
Well, what I'm going to do is when we're done, I'm going to fill out this form and I'm going to find out and I'll let you guys know.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm not 100% sure how that works when it comes to that. So I will find that out and let you guys know, because that's the only piece I don't know about it. And so I'll figure it out. I'll fill out these disclosures and see what happens with it, where it goes and stuff, so that we know. I have a feeling that it's just going to get emailed to us and we may have to upload it, but I'll let you guys know what it is.
I have another
Thank you.
question too.
Sure.
Do you know if it has, well, you might not know yet. You know how Glide had the overrun thing where it would kind of add to an addendum if you had more stuff to write? Do you know if it has something like that?
I'm 99% sure it does the same thing. Yep, that would make sense, because I'm sure that they actually tempered it after Glide, seeing what Glide did, and they came up with their own version of it. So I'm pretty sure that's what's going to happen. And if it's anything like Glide would actually give you the document and email the document to you, and then you had to turn around and go. You could go and upload it into your file or whatever, or send it for signatures. So I have a feeling, it would be nice if it was actually integrated. So I'll see how that works and see if it goes into our forms or not, or where it happens. I'll find out about that. I have a question here. Is this replacement for sending things through CAR? Yes, Arlie, this is a replacement for not using zip forms in CAR. So to use Glide and Breeze. Not Glide, Forms and Breeze. So Breeze kind of replaces Glide, using Glide, and and Forms basically is replacing zip forms. So everything's all in Skyslope. And I'm hoping that Skyslope will figure out, I'm going to make sure that I do all the surveys and stuff so that if there's something going on, I can actually tell them and they're going to listen to it. So I'll make sure that they're doing the surveys and things like that to keep the information flowing, because this is new. So there may be some little glitches here and there, but actually for only using it for the last couple months, I haven't really found a lot of glitches. I absolutely love it. So, but if anybody has any problems with it, let me know. I'd like to know about that too. Okay, any other questions? Awesome. You guys are more than welcome to call me. I know if you want my number, I can give you my number.
Yes, please share your number,
Sure.
Sherry.
It's 707 I'm going to put it in the chat too. So it's 707-328-9255.
And I
Can you
had a question.
I got, oh, sorry, question from Arlie. Can you add external documents? Yes, you can add external documents. Arlie, if you'd like, give me a call afterwards and I can go over a few things with you.
And then one other question, Natasha had mentioned, you said you had a list of documents that could be included for templates. Is that correct?
Yeah, as soon as Natasha sends it, she can send me and we can send it out to everybody too.
Awesome.
I just have one for taking a new listing. But yes, I will send it over.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Perfect. All right, everybody, thank you for being here. And I hope this is all helpful. And like I said, give me a call if you have any questions or need any help or anything like that. And I have fun with it because I think you guys are going to all like it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank
Have
you.
a great weekend.
Thank you. Nice to meet you,
Thank you.
Roshana.
Thank you very much.